a dream I know. Deep up my feelings for you. Watch.
Hello reality viewers, welcome back again to Reality Latest Gist, the home of news and politics. For this channel, we dey drop news every day and we dey react to every videos wey comes our way. And na reality news now we dey drop for this channel, and we dey also dey talk am as e be. If today na the first time we say you dey come across this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning subscribers, I appreciate all of una for una massive support to this channel. I say may God bless all of una in Jesus name. Amen. I get video where I want present to una this very moment, and I go to follow una, they watch the video. After we don't watch them together, make we drop our opinion constructively for the comment section. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for coming here, and I think I have a lot of questions to ask, but I will basically go to maybe one or two. Okay. You were aware that Onyindu was illegally abducted from Kenya? Hello?
Can you be specific to your question?
Okay.
Was I aware from what time
Okay.
and to what time?
Okay. So when he was abducted, when he was illegally abducted from Kenya.
Sorry, madam, maybe you want to ask me, when was I aware that Onyindu was adopted? Is that what you want to ask me?
Well, either ways, because either you know, or whether when you know, that's still the same thing. Because all of us are aware. I was aware that he was abducted, so you were aware that he was abducted.
Yes, I was aware that he was abducted on the 27th of June, when the Nigerian establishment broke the news that our leader was adopted. I was aware. Yes.
Did you ask questions to those who were like taking care, or maybe people who usually, board his plane, or people who are, working with him directly? Did you ask those questions? Okay, he was abducted for 8 days. None of us knew about it. Did you ask those questions? Did you find out from the people who were supposed to find out what went wrong?
Well, yes, let me answer your question, and I'll give you a background before I answer your question. On the 27th, the news broke that our leader was arrested, was kidnapped. The first person who sent me that news was my deputy, Mazin Trumi. He sent it to me, and he said, look at what I saw. I said, don't mind them, this is the zoo and their nonsense. That was my response, because for me, it was unimaginable. And then hours later, other news carried it, and then it began to spread. And the shock was deep in me. In fact, when in my workplace for a couple of hours, I couldn't get it. I couldn't make sense out of it. And after I recovered from that shock, I left work. I went home and I called an emergency EOS meeting. And we began to deal on this matter. And what are we going to do? What happened? After that day, we said, okay, we will individually make our own investigations. And yes, I called people who are close to and who may know. First person I called was the secretary. I called her and I asked her a direct question. If she was aware, and what time, at what date was she or became she have the knowledge that Onyindu was arrested? And bearing in mind that on the 19th, I had a meeting with Onyindu in the morning during a fundraising, and there was supposed to be a second one with the US later in the evening. And he didn't turn up to that meeting. So I asked her, at what time did you know? Because after that meeting that Onyindu didn't come, the following day I called the secretary. And I asked her, were you able to reach Onyindu up to this moment? She said, that is probably 24 hours after Onyindu didn't come to that meeting. She said no, she didn't reach. She couldn't reach him, and that this is somehow unusual. I said okay. The following day again, I called her. That will be the 21st. Were you able to reach her? Either I called her, I sent a message, but I asked again from there. She says, did not. Then we got the message of women being kidnapped. And then I called her on the 28th of January and asked her when she became aware. She became aware on the 21st, probably earlier. I assume maybe she knew earlier. But she knew on the 21st. And I asked her, how did you come to know about that? She said she got information from Kenya through a contact. And I said, who is the contact? What's the name? She gave me a name, first name. I asked, what about the second name? She said she doesn't have it, or she doesn't know it. Then my second question was, how did you know this person? She said, when you introduced this person in Kenya to her, because he does that sometimes. Now, she got that information from that person, from that contact. And I asked her, what did you do when you received that information? And she said she contacted Kalanta and asked Kalanta if he heard what is going on. And Kalanta said, yeah, that she should not worry. She should not worry, everything is fine, everything is fine, or that everything is fine, but that she should not worry. And also that Kalanta asked her not to say anything about this matter. She told me that. I said not to say anything about that. Please, I don't need to be interrupted, please. And the Kalanta told her not to say anything about it. And I said, okay, when you told Kalanta, who else did you tell? Why didn't you tell the leadership? Is it not that it's not because you don't know who the leadership is when Oyendo is not there? Why didn't you tell the leadership? Why didn't you tell the head of the directorate? Why didn't you tell members of the directorate? And he gave me a very stupid reason, but I mean, that's for me, it doesn't make sense. She said at that time there were attacks on her, and she doesn't know who are behind those attacks. Maybe those also in the directorate, because she believed that Mazungoru is maybe one of the people behind the attack on her. I said, okay, but if Mazungoru is behind, what about the other people? So that argument or that discussion ended there. Now, what I took from that is that she knew earlier or on the 21st that Oyendo was arrested. She didn't tell anybody, and she told Kalanta, and they decided to keep it quiet. I called Kalanta. I have to take something to drink.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
I called Kalanta. I'm calling my dad. I haven't finished. So I called Kalanta because I'm still answering your question. I called Kalanta and asked him, when did you become aware of Oyendo's problem? He said, like we had it. That he had it like we had it. That means he had it on the 27th. So he lied to me there and then, and that is when my displeasure began with him. But that is a different matter. He lied to me because already the other lady has told me he knew earlier. And what I did, conveyed a DOS meeting for people to also hear the same thing I heard. And I invited Kalanta. My intention was to invite both of them, but I decided first to invite Kalanta because we want to hear what he has to tell us, having in mind that the other girl has to do something different. He came to this DOS, and before all of us, he lied again that he had no idea until we knew, and all the other rubbish he talked about. So, to answer your question, that is the time I knew about Oyendo's arrest, and for that 8 days, the man was suffering. Some people knew about it. They decided to keep it quiet. Why? I don't know. Maybe Oyendo alone can tell us why. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. You did a fantastic job there. Okay, the next thing is, when you were aware that this lady, or maybe Kalanta lied, And then that lady you asked, is she still in position as at this moment?
Which lady?
The lady that you called, is it the secretary? I don't know who you called.
Caroline.
Secretary who? Oh, if she's still at her position as secretary or what?
Yes.
Secretary
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, secretary. I don't know if that makes any sense. You can't be secretary to somebody who's not there. Who's not there giving you instructions. It's redundant as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, thank you so much. Did you investigate after you gathered all this information? Has there been any investigation or a panel set since then?
Panel set up. Why will we investigate? We already have our facts. The things are clear. Well, so we know what happened. We know that the leadership became aware the day we became aware of it. We had no knowledge of that matter. That is a fact established by anybody. We don't need a panel to be able to find that out. Now, what we have done is that we said, okay, now we know what the problem is. We must try as much as we can now to concentrate on getting our leader, because what are we going to do? These people, the secretary does not exist anymore as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to be wasting strength on making it more popular. Kalonta has also been, people have been told that Kalonta is not an officer of IPOB. He has no business giving instructions in IPOB affairs. He has no business at all. And I've told him himself directly, and I've also instructed those who are in leadership to take note of that. So we are doing what we are doing, curtailing their excesses and also not getting fully distracted. So the panel issue, my dear, after all these things we have done, I don't know if it's still necessary. There.
Okay, thank you so very much. You are fantastic. About the people that called or closed the account.
Honorable, please, can I say something before you continue, please?
Okay.
Mazi Chika Edoziem, I just heard you say that Caroline said she was away on the 21st, 21. Okay. I got a call. I have intel that Caroline knew hours as soon as our leader was abducted. Canon Takano also knew hours. So whenever you want to know, I will give you my the source of my information. So she said on the 21st, she's still lying to you. She found that So I just wanted to say there. So even the 21st, she lied. She found out earlier than 21. And I have information. I can validate that. Okay. Just to let you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, my dear sister. Yes, my dear sister. I will appreciate that. I will appreciate that information. Honestly, I will highly appreciate it if you make it available to me. I cannot. Chika witness wants well, like I said, those situations are written, but we need it to make sure that our people still understand at the appropriate time what really transpired. I'm interested in knowing those, if there are any who deliberately conspired to have our lady killed. I'm interested in knowing who they are. So any information you have, evidence you have, please, I will appreciate to have it.
Okay, I think that's what I'm saying. We have to discuss it to bring out the evidence. She knew before the 21st. She lied when she said the 21st. I sent a motion to the I sent a motion to you guys. When you go through the motion, you will see I outlined it item by item. It's very self-descriptive. It's very evident. Okay. So when the time comes and when we start talking about this, okay, hold on. When we start talking about this, now it's going to be debating between the 21 and the 20th, somewhere between 19th and 20th. She knew hours after our leader was abducted. She knew within hours. Canon Takano knew within hours. And I have evidence to prove that she knew within hours. She lied when she said 21st. She knew before the 21st. They knew it was going to happen on the 19th. They knew after he came out from the fundraising, that's when it happened. And they called them from Kenya to tell them that he's under their custody. When they abducted him, they placed a call. And Caroline received the call. She knew. Okay, and my informant is ready to come up and let the whole world know.
Kanu knew within hours. They called them to confirm that the deal has been completed. Okay, so she's lying to you when she said the 21st. The other thing I want to say, even if she said the 21st, you can still start your investigation with the 21. You don't want to know what I have. So you can even start with the 21st. She knew the 21st. She was hiding, pretending, tweeting, deceiving Biafran people. This is something you need to look into. The same people that abducted me is still giving information.
I'm listening to you, my dear. I'm listening.
So Chika, I need you to understand. Please, I need you to understand that all the people that sold our leader, including the Nanyanya, is still collaborating with the Nigerian government, the DSS, to hold him, to make sure they complete their act. That's what you need to know. We cannot solve any problem by hiding these things. These are facts. Nanyanya is the culprit behind this. Caroline and Takanu, they are all working for Nanyanya. Nanyanya is in DOS. Nanyanya wants to kill our leader. She's still in the DOS. That's what I'm saying. That's what we need to take care of. Please, I need you to understand these things. This is the way it is. Nanyanya is still behind this.
Listen, madam. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I cannot give you my strategy on dealing with this matter. I cannot give it to you, but I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That is, I know what you're saying. And I have a strategy that I'm doing to deal with it. I cannot make it public to you.
Okay.
I beg for if you don't mind.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
So I leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And were you aware of the individuals that called for the closure of our accounts?
If I was aware of the individuals that were associated with the closure of accounts.
The ESN account.
The ESN account.
Well, I was aware that there are names that was published by Mrs. Nelly as those who have something to do with that. And also I received some written communication from Mrs. Eze on information they received from the bank about the report and all that. And in that official communication, yes, the account was reported to fraud. Who reported it was not stated. And have said, yes, Madam Nelly has names published, but there is only one way I can be sure that these names are there involved. They are genuinely, there is an allegation that they are involved, and it is possible that they are. But then, if I do not have a supporting document from authorities saying, yes, this individual or these individuals reported this account, that is, for me, still an allegation that cannot be proved. And I'm not expected to act on that, because that is what I'm being called to do. And I requested, and I've said, even when Mazi, I believe Mazi Moro and Osama came to you, to speak to you mothers, they also mentioned it, but if they didn't, let me say it now. If what I requested initially, and that was that if there is a possibility to get, even if it has to involve an attorney, to make the bank give us that information, because we are customers, we are entitled to it somehow, according to US. Let us follow that process and get that information. It will seal the whole matter. It's no longer be in the realm of allegation, but in the realm of proved fact. And if you act on that, the spirit and humans will be on your side. Without that, I'm sure nobody will act based on mere allegations. At least I was not taught to act in that form.
Thank you so much. And you are aware that if you're a public servant and there is an allegation out there against you, that the first thing you do is to recuse yourself pending investigation. Are you aware?
Sorry, what did you say? I'm aware if you're a public servant and allegation is against
if you're a public servant, okay, and there is an allegation, against you, and it is out there in the open. What do you think you're supposed to do? Are you supposed to recuse yourself? Or maybe step aside, pending investigation?
Or even the company will tell you to step down for investigation.
Are you aware as the head of DOS, what do you think you're supposed to do? Immediately you get this kind of weighty allegation. What do you think you're supposed to have done?
When I received weighty allegations against principal servant.
If you're a public servant, if you're serving in an office, okay, and there is an allegation against you.
Madam, don't do hypothesis. Tell it to me how it is. We are in IPOB. We are not in companies or firms. We are using IPOB. Just let me finish. IPOB will always be where we begin our hypothesis or whatever our explanation. IPOB is there. Go tell me what you mean in IPOB, and I'll answer you directly. I don't want to go about. I don't work in a company. I work differently, so I wouldn't know really what happened there. I never worked as a civil servant. I don't know how they work. Tell me about it, and I'll be able to answer you properly.
Do you know that you're serving the Biafrans?
Yes, I'm serving Biafran people. Yes, under the leadership of a movement led by the leader.
Okay. And there is a wet allegation that Biafran was sold because Nnamdi Kanu is a figurehead. Okay, he is the leader of this movement, and he was sold. And you got this information as the next in command of Nnamdi Kanu, and you got this kind of wet information. And you never cared about telling those people to step aside pending in the investigation. Even when one of them was stressing, shouting, talking to you, writing memos, telling you that I have evidence. And you never cared to bring those people in question. Of course, you know that there are 8 names. Number of people that will call the bank for the closure of the accounts. And you never cared to say, okay, let me investigate on what happened. And they're still taking salary if they're taking, or they're still serving our people up till now. And you are the second in command, and you never cared to investigate on this sweaty allegation. What do you think about it?
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. And I also, am I coming out?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody's calling. There is a phone call on my. There is a call. Just hold on for a few minutes. Sorry.
It's coming up.
Can't. That was
Sister, are you picking call?
Don't pick call. Just let's go.
Sister, don't
You have
pick
to hold
call.
on for a minute. Yeah. Can I unmute her now?
Yeah.
Sister.
Okay.
Sister,
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's not muted. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
yes.
You can hear him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. And I was saying that I thank sister that just spoke, especially again because at the last conclusion of her statement, she said it all. She said it all because she said, I'm the second in command. I'm the second in command. The first in command is there. I cannot honestly be expected to take over the work of the first command. The first command is reachable. He is still in charge. And that is what I have been trying to let our people know. That is also what the enemy wants us to do. They want us to isolate our leader. Isolate him in the sense that believing that he's not in control. Oyendu is in control, and that is what we must push across. I am second in command. when there are issues that I can deal with immediately and deal with as second in command that does not need the input of Oyendo, I deal with them because I know he has taught me how to deal with those issues. But if there are so weighty issues that we need the first in command to make an input, I will act according to his instructions. And as I'm speaking to you, Oyendo is seized of the allegations about his head of finance. I know the instructions as he told me to carry out. Based on that, he has not asked me to remove anybody, and I cannot remove anybody because Oyendo, people are going around saying, I said it on my broadcast, and I'm very disappointed. If you go around, you're talking about what is it called? Autopilot. What is the meaning of autopilot? Autopilot when the leader is there. Are we deliberately trying to isolate him? That now we are running autopilot. No, there is a vacuum of leadership. I said it on my because that is what they want us to do. We must push it all the time that the Oyendo is in charge. That is what scares the enemy. If we reduce his authority, we are putting him in danger. And I cannot be part of that. So until he tells me in that very serious allegation, very serious matter that he appointed the head of finance and taking into account that these allegations have been there before he got this issue that he has now. He was already aware of it. He hasn't acted on them. And up to now, he hasn't asked me to act on it. I don't think it's reasonable for me to act without his authority. I can't do that. That is why I'm a very, very simple, obedient, follower. That is how it is. I know where my responsibility lie. I know where my duties lie. I know where I am expected to act. And in those areas, be rest assured that I will act. Where the input of Oyendo is needed, I will wait for his input before I act. We are here also, we may disagree on that, but that is my outlook of this whole situation. I have been in this movement, Chika knows, for as long as I can remember. And I took oath to protect it, and I took oath to be loyal to Oyendo. And so I will remain in that line. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Do you know, we are talking about this because we did not wake up that day and hear that Oyendo is dead.
Thank you.
Are you aware?
I'm sorry, my dear. What did you say?
I said, do you know that we are talking about this, talking about investigation? We could have woke up that day and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is dead.
Chukwuemeka forbid.
Forgive.
A billion times. I can't even imagine that kind of thing is going to happen. It's not going to happen. I imagine when you raise a matter, let me respond. And I'm speaking to you as modest, but I'm going to put my positions clear.
Okay.
This is what I can even imagine. You can imagine it, and I'm not going to make it to be imagined by answering to it. I can't imagine it happening, and that's my answer to that.
Okay. Please, can I say something? Miss Rosemary was raising.
Madam Rosemary.
He's still talking. He's still talking. Children, he's still answering.
Okay.
Go ahead, Maz.
Because I will take two more questions if I beg for your understanding. More questions that may really need my answers that other officers haven't given answers to. And I will honorably and humbly ask.
Okay, please can you guys excuse me to ask one of the questions since you're allowing to? So Mazi, can you still hear me? This is Nelly.
I can hear you, madam.
Okay. I'm going to start by saying that everything you said, I disagreed with everything you said, but I agree on one thing now. You said about Oyendo giving instruction. Do you know that Onyendu gave instruction for the liaison account, for every single dime in the liaison account to be moved to the ESN account. Are you aware that Onyendu gave that instruction?
I said it tonight on my broadcast. I said it, madam. If you listen, you will hear me say it. I said it there.
Okay.
And I
do you know that she has refused?
For your knowledge.
Okay. Do you know that she was at the regional meeting and she said it will be over her dead body before she transferred the money? Did you know that part of that story?
Now listen to me. I haven't finished answering your question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
If you may permit me, I said in my broadcast, of course, I was aware that I spoke to her. I spoke to her. That's the point. Because it's not everything I do that I got directive of what to do. I spoke to Mrs. Chinyere, Ms. Onwole. I spoke to her and I conveyed Onyendu's instruction to her. And Onyendu's instruction was that she should transfer every ESN phone there to the ESN account used. I told her that. And she told me that, yes, Mazi, she will agree with me on everything, but this one she will not obey. I said, no problem. I have delivered, now listen, I have delivered my message. And I went back to Onyendu. And Onyendu came back to me and told me what to do. And I also said it on my broadcast. Okay, if you do not want to transfer all the funds there to ESN account, now you must not remove any more kobo from that account. From today that I made it clear, because the time that the opportunity, not opportunity, but the time that we will ask the auditors to look into that account, it will be on record that you were told from this day not to move any more funds on that. I said it on air. So I am doing what I am asked to do. I'm doing my work, I believe.
Okay, one more thing. What about the instruction that Onyendu gave to Nenayanya?
What instruction?
To move all the money, ESN money, in her possession to the ESN account. The same thing that she told you, that was the same instruction that was given to Chinyere Onwonye. Nenayanya was told to move all the money. She has not moved a dime.
Miss Nelly, I will humbly suggest that you listen to my broadcast tonight, because all these questions they are dealt with them there.
Okay, I will.
My mothers, all of you, my mothers, I will appreciate it. Listen to it. You get more information, but all these things I've dealt with them there. They were.
Okay, one more thing.
Please, can I ask?
Please. There's one more thing. There's one more thing. We have audience. One more thing. Chika, did you
take it one after. Oh, not Nelly. Okay, not Nelly again. Okay, next, another person.
Chika,
Can I go on?
Okay, let other people take their turn. Yes.
I need to know about the face.
Yes, we agree. Oh my God!
Nelly,
You are wasting time.
Nelly, my turn.
Okay, sorry.
All right, Rosemary, go ahead.
Madam Rosemary, sorry.
Go ahead, Rosemary.
I thank you for making our time to answer our call. As you know, we are the mothers. Before we are the mothers, we are Umuada. And when things are happening in Biafra land, Umuada need to put mouth in it. Here, I am not going back to what my sisters have already said, but from all indications, from what you told us today, and from what we already have from Mazi Chinasamoru and Mazi Ofoma, is down to every Biafra man, woman, child, or adult, or anybody, that Miss Caroline Uche Nna is part and parcel of whatever happened to our Onyendu in Kenya. And he has an ally, which she willingly gave us. That's Mazi Kanu Takano, the brother to our leader, it was working with her, plus another Kenya person, agent we do not know. It is true that Mazi is no longer in the office now because he is suffering in the dungeon of the Nigerian DSS. But that office that Caroline is holding, whether Mazi is here or not, we want you to pronounce that office vacant. We want you, as the head of DOS, to pronounce from your mouth, say that this office has been vacated so that Biafrans all over the world, we know that that office is gone.
Yeah.
Also, evidence has been pointing left and right to Miss Nnenia Anya. Nnenia Anya, or Mrs. Nnenia Anya. Mrs. Nnenia has been occupying a very important position in Biafra struggle because she has been the World Bank manager that has been in Germany up to now. And she has betrayed us. She has betrayed Biafrans. She has betrayed everybody that put their hope and their struggle in this Biafra restoration. She has betrayed our Onyendu. And whether Onyendu is here or not, you are his next in command. We are not telling you to disrespect Onyendu. We are not telling you to, to disobey him. We know that you are working for Onyendu. Biafrans all over the world, we know if you do this for us, we know that you are working for Onyendu. We want Nnenia to vacate her seat.
Simple.
We want you to suspend her for now. Suspend her. We did not say fire her until all these investigations is completed. And in that list, that there is no fire without there's no smoke without fire, like people say. And on that list, that have those 8 members in them, that has Uchenna, and has Nnenia, and has Dr. Koro, and has Eunice Onwonyi, and has Ndubisi, and has Gift, Chinwe. What's her last name? Chinwe Gift. Ediwachuku. All those people mentioned there, that is the evidence, and that's the evidence of command and control. Yes. The command and control means that our Onyendu is somewhere, but you are in his next in command. He gave you before he put you on that position, you know what you can do. So you cannot say now that Onyendu, if you don't go to the by the way, have you seen him since he's inside the DOS this thing? Or something that people go in and tell you. Just like they tell us something and they come out and contradict it. So we want those people there. I don't know, there are friends that have been calling here. I hope I'm speaking your mind. Those people on that list should be suspended
immediately.
Pending investigation. Onye aki adi ocha aki adi kwa ocha. Onye omara ya amaya. So, but before then, because again were nderere Onyendu, like Uchenna ya. Uchenna ya amaghị mere Onyendu. Because all of them in that list, they are the ones backing liaison accounts.
Yes.
All of them. None of them respect the Umu Eri and
okay.
None of
all right,
them,
we are back.
All of them in solidarity with the liaison account. And when I asked about it, Lady Chinyere, she said to me that is the account that Kanu approved. the one Mazi Chika Edoziem brought was a fraud. So that's what we have been going on. So if you, the head of the state, the head of the DOS, can bring us a fraud account, and Kanu give them the account that they've been running about with, which means they are dividing. We are saying that we don't have money. Our money is going somewhere. It's divided. We don't even have people bringing money and this. So here today, Umada, different women, different IPOB all over the world, we are talking. We say, please, with your power, veto power that was given to you by our Onyendu, we want them to be suspended until the investigation is done. That's what we are talking about. And yeah,
he wants to respond.
I think your questions you have answered. You have asked the question, right? I don't know if you still have more, because before I forget what you're asking me and to be able to. Before the line was broken, I misunderstood you making two requests. The first one concerned the secretary of our leader. And let me say something. The secretary of our leader is not an IPOB official. I don't know if all of you know that. There was a place, I don't know if in a meeting, I wanted to refer to her as a IPOB secretary. I said, she is not IPOB secretary. She is not an IPOB officer. It is for most of you. Well, not you people there now. It is just a lot of people in USA that raise her profile for nothing. She is a private secretary to Onyendu. And if Onyendu is not there, her work ceases. I have nothing to do with her, because coming on air to announce that she's to be is to make her important. As far I never spoke to the lady until these issues began. I mean, really, of course, Onyendu has asked me to speak to her one or two couple of times. That was it, because she's not IPOB officer. So my point, and I'm still going to maintain here, is as far as Onyendu is not there, then she has no job. And if you ask me to come and announce her, if she's an IPOB officer, I will come and announce her. Her post is no longer. There is no post that connects IPOB that she's holding that connects her to IPOB. Onyendu's private secretary. Now, regarding Mrs. Aya, I will use just Onyendu's word to answer that. To answer your request, I hope all of you probably are Nanuibo, but I respect. I do honestly respect all of you from the bottom of my heart. We may disagree on certain implementation that concerns POB. We may disagree, but that does not take away my respect for you. Now, Mrs. Anya Onyendu will say, timing is the key. Timing is the key. I have already said that here that the methodology or technique that I'm using to deal with some of this is not what I'm going to make public. And I believe taking into that word, timing is key. At the appropriate time, these things will be done as yesterday. But pushing me to do it before that time may even be more negative than positive. So I am aware of the expectations of our people on this matter. And I have said, listen to my broadcast. Listen to the broadcast. Some of your concerns in some ways has been dealt with, at least for a beginning. All the questions I've asked, except the issue that concerned the 200 people that were killed and then the arrest in Ghana. Most of the other things somehow a little bit. And the third demand or request, I didn't really hear it because the line went bad. And when we came back, I was not sure.
You want me to repeat them?
Yes.
Yeah, do you want her to repeat? Do you want her to repeat what she said? Rosemary, she said you can repeat what she said.
Yes, the request
is online.
Yeah, meaning I have to remove somebody to bring her in. So who am I removing?
Remove me. Chika wouldn't let me ask more questions.
Who is online?
Who is online? Who is online?
You want to know who is online?
One of us.
Oh, wants to come and ask her a question.
Okay. My request.
I can go out. I can leave.
My request. Okay.
Who?
I don't know.
I can leave. So that you bring Amaka.
Okay.
Nelly's gone.
Can you hear me? Yeah, let me.
Yeah, Nelly just
leave.
left.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm not disturbing you.
Okay. What my request was and continue to be that everybody that was listed in that list, because we know that list, Caroline is on it, Nyanya is on it, Chinyere, Eunice Onwonyi is on it, and the rest of them that were implicated that called and reported our bank fraud. But whether they reported the bank fraud or not, but as long as they are working with Caroline and Nyanya, and we want them to be suspended, everybody on that list, pending the investigation. Because we cannot have, when something is inside your house and biting you, change, it might go she. Then you come and you tell we are IDOB, we are their friends. We tell our plans on how to go and get our onion out. But the people on the top that are part of these things, they are directing us.
Okay.
That's Nyanya. She's the principal officer. Eunice Onwonyi, she's a principal officer. Mazokoro, he's a principal officer. And all of them. So they are directing us.
Okay, Nelly.
Yeah. I have to step aside.
I don't know. I got your question. I got your request now. So just for me to answer, I will just simply answer that yes, I have heard your request. My mother, I have heard your request. And if I say I have taken note of it, it's not that I'm leaving you a promise so that tomorrow you will not say it doesn't promise to send them out or to suspend them. But I've taken note of it. But I also want you to bear in mind that yes, your argument is cogent that these people genuinely has been indicted and they cannot remain within us and allowed to operate free. The first question is, even if are they operating freely? Are they operating free? Now, if you are already aware and have your suspicion, so will you allow them to operate freely? Now, I want to say that DOS will not allow them. In the meantime, they are still there. The DOS will not allow them to operate freely. Now, because we have our fears and we have probably very good reason to be suspicious. So we must put things in place and not to get ourselves taken by surprise. That said, don't forget that taking into account the positions these individuals are holding and also the fact that they are holding our money, I want to ask, don't you think there is a possibility if we do not gradually cut their wings and then prevent them after when now we will sack them from committing any harm. That is also what we have to consider. And you don't know whether it's like I said also, these things are, it might not happen immediately that you require them. But timing will be the key, because we will have to make sure that if there are damages that are going to come, it will be a minimum damage when that action that you're requesting now takes place. And with this, my dear sweet mothers, I think I will humbly again thank all of you and for this wonderful opportunity given to me to speak with people, to have this conversation. I appreciated it to a great extent, and I hold all of you in great high esteem. I began this movement from being a national coordinator. I organized the family that started here in Switzerland. I didn't even want to. Carol, Monday, the rest. I know how we wanted to bring somebody up to start that family here, and he disappointed, and he just fell on me. I didn't want to, but I did. I built the family in Switzerland from being immediately a national coordinator, and after a while, I became the European rep. From being European rep, I built Europe. When the first crisis came, I was in charge of Europe. I maintained that Europe did not fall, and Europe never fell. Oyendu came out, and the most even we got in Asia and America, all the place, Europe was under my charge, and we remained loyal to it. From being the European rep, I was added to the Directorate of State, and I was made Secretary of Directorate of State. When this opportunity to serve Biafrans in this position as HOD came, I refused it. I refused it, and those that brought it knew that I refused it. When he convinced me to take it, I said, okay, I'll serve our people. And I'm promising you that I'm going to serve our people in all truth and honesty. I took oath to do that. But I will be 101% loyal to Ndumazenandikano. And with this, I will leave you people and ask Chika to continue to guide all of you in whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for this opportunity.